So if you are a school at this level, you will have a different organizational structure from a school at that level because not all schools have the same need. So we're looking at the way we structure schools. Finally, we're looking at the regulatory framework that's in place. Now, interestingly, no principal in Jamaica is held to account for school performance. None. We can't promote you, nor can we not promote you by virtue of the output. Interesting. We don't hold boards accountable for school performance, and let me qualify that. So let's talk about exam results. You know, a teacher, a principal of a school, in a school, can stay in post for 5, 8, 10, 15 years and keep having the same results, and your job is secured. Now, in the United States, and I speak less intelligently about what happens here, but you know, I said to some of my higher educational administrators the other day from the region that, you know, we have an interesting landscape because, you know, elsewhere, if the lecturer at a higher educational level does not successfully produce the students, he or she has no job. Work with me. If you're working in a plant, your output is to put out. So, but if you're working in a school, what's your output? And if the output is less than desirable, what happens? Next year, you just go on. And almost invariably, we say that it's the students. Don't remember now, we're not remembering that we have had 5 different cohorts of students and 1 recurring decimal. That's the teacher. And so every year we hear, oh, but this crop of students is not so strong. So readily we blame the student for getting the recurring decimal, who is always in place, the same teacher, the same principal, the same process, the same approach. So school self-evaluation helps us to look at the regulatory frameworks as a ministry, what we'll be doing to better support you. Because I continue to, listen, I think I have the best job in the country. I really believe I have the best job in the country because I am meeting more and more and more principals who realize that they can change this thing. They can turn it around, but they need some support. What do you do with a teacher who is in place for 15 years, who has taught the same subject from the same lesson plan 15 years in a row? What do you do with that teacher? And last week I was elsewhere, and my colleague from the JTA, who shall remain nameless for the purpose of this presentation, gave me the assurance that the association is also in the business of improving teacher quality. That when the teacher does well, reward the teacher, celebrate the teacher. And when the teacher doesn't do well, you know, and one of my colleagues, he has often heard me say, you know, certain decisions that come to my desk, I say to my people, you know, do the due diligence, because if I make a decision on the basis of the recommendation and technical advice that you give me, I have to trust you. I'm not an expert in some regards, and that's fine, because none of us is an expert in all areas. So I make decisions on the basis of the technical advice that I'm given, and I say to them often, and they'll bear me out. When I make a great decision, and we all do well, oh, I'll celebrate you. But when I make a poor decision, because you have not done your due diligence, and I was led wrongly, when I am held to account, guess what? So school self-evaluation needs that regulatory framework to say we're putting in some legislative changes in place. So we'll hold boards and principals and teachers accountable. The matter of licensure must be a reality, and I care not. Let me